Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm sure everyone will let me know, as is always the case with these live streams. Just tell me if you can hear me. Welcome to those of you who've joined me already, nice and early. I say it's early; it's 2:30 in the afternoon here. I hope the audio's okay. I've had to fiddle a little bit with OBS because the fan in the laptop that I'm using is blaring out. You may be able to hear it while I'm talking, but I've had to fiddle about with some audio settings to try and suppress that. So when I stop talking, which I know doesn't happen very often, hopefully the fan noise won't be audible. I know it sounds like I'm underwater or something, but hopefully it's okay. So yes, welcome to everyone. Don says it sounds great, so let's get cracking. So for the last couple of days, I've done a couple of these where I've just been noodling around with the 1910 ISOs on a spare laptop that I have. Currently, I think the laptop has... powered off the screen. Yes. Currently, the laptop has Ubuntu Mate on it. 1910, just because that's what it had on yesterday. But today, I want to go through some what you might call proper testing. So what I'm going to do is go through the stuff that's on the testing tracker, the ISO tracker. And I've shown this on the last couple of days, but for anyone new, Ubuntu 1910 is coming out in 5 days, hence the title of this video being T-5 on Thursday. And I just wanted to go through showing how to test, various things, because it's, an important thing for us to do before the release. And there's lots of different types of testing. There's this formal testing that we've got where we've got a list of tasks to do. And then there's the more informal stuff where you're just noodling around or playing with it or just trying to break the desktop if you can. Both of those are super valuable. So you don't necessarily have to go through these tasks, but it's kind of helpful to the teams that work on Ubuntu to go through them, because without them, they can't release the ISOs. They need confirmation from the team leaders that these ISOs are good. So let's get cracking. So the preparation for this is a few things. One is log into the test tracker so that you can then sign them off when you've succeeded or failed, and sign into Launchpad as well. So hopefully, I need to use the right keyboard, don't I? If I go to launchpad.net, hopefully I'm already logged in as me, and I can easily file bugs and stuff now that I'm logged in. Good stuff. So another thing I did, actually, I wrote a script to download a bunch of ISOs, because I didn't want to put you through the pain of watching me download an ISO image over my Wi-Fi. So I actually wrote a script. It's pretty straightforward, that I just fill in the date stamp, and it just loops around wgetting each of the ISO images. The only one it didn't get was the Ubuntu Studio one, which doesn't seem to be doing daily builds. I don't know why that is, or if their daily builds are somewhere else, or if that is broken or what, I don't know. But all it does is just loop round and get each of the ISO images from the CD image server onto my local machine. So if I do ncdu, which is one of my favorite command line utilities, you can see, there's stuff in each of these folders. If I go into the Ubuntu folder, this kind of matches the format, the directory structure on cdimage.ubuntu.com. So you can, it's familiar. So that's the most recent image that I've got. And when I save them in the script, I save them with the flavor name in front, because by default, they all have EON desktop architecture. They all say Series desktop architecture.iso, and that's kind of confusing. When you're doing DDing stuff onto disk and stuff, you want to make sure you get the right image. So I renamed them all. So the Kubuntu one is Kubuntu EON desktop, and you can see that if you look in the script. You can see I do a wget -o and then D is the flavor. I don't know why I used D. I should have used F. I did actually type F in there, and I changed it to D. Why did I do that? I don't know. Date stamp, and then you'll see I put the D in there in front of series type and arch. So I can, like, tomorrow I can just update that and then run the script again, and I'll get all of tomorrow's. Now, there are better ways to do this. There's a tool called ZSync, which will get the diffs between one day and the next. But I just wanted to get them all. So cool. Oh, hello, all those people who've joined. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for dropping by. This is going to be long, so, you know, you don't have to stick around. No obligation. I've got a to-do list on the screen on the right there. Get dem ISOs. Well, I've done that. I've got all the ISOs, and then the next step is do some tests. So I think the first one, I've got a bunch of USB keys here. I've got to remember, I've switched where my webcam is, so I keep looking at the wrong place. I'm sorry about that. I've got a bunch of USB keys here, and the first one I think we'll do is Lubuntu. So if I stick my USB key in this machine, in the USB, I've got a 4-way USB thing. Oh man, I just put it in the wrong way around. I did exactly what you always do with USB sticks. There we go. So I've put the USB stick in, and now if I demessage -TW, I should see it appear. SDA, okay. So it's SDA. And it's not mounted. It's not auto-mounted, I don't think. It is auto-mounted. Wicked. So, oh look, I was playing with Batasero with this. Sudo umount dev SDA1 and dev SDA2. Right. So I'll just unmount those. And then what I'll do is, there are loads of tools and loads of ways people use to put the ISO on the USB stick. This is the tool I use. It's a tool called DD Rescue. I hope this text is big enough for you to read it. Do let me know if it's not. DD Rescue is the tool I use. It's in a package called GDD Rescue, because I think it's GNU DD Rescue or something. So if I do apt show GDD Rescue, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of text. Yeah, GDD Rescue. Okay. So yeah, it's a GNU.org project. So that's why it's called GDD Rescue, I imagine. Anyway, the command is DD Rescue. So we're going to DD Rescue. No, we're not. We're going to sudo DD Rescue minus device minus force. I can't remember what these mean. Muscle memory just means I type this stuff in. And we're going to do Lubuntu daily today, that ISO onto dev SDA. Boom. This is the reason why I like DD Rescue. I learned about DD Rescue from Martin Wimpress. The nice thing about it is it's better than DD because you get, you know, output of throughput and all that kind of stuff. It's obviously not as good as like a graphical tool. Graphical tools are quite nice for, you know, just drag a thing onto an ISO and onto a USB stick and all that. But I just quite like this. It's actually not. I don't think you're supposed to use it for this. I think it's meant for like recovering data off of a USB stick, and it can be quite aggressive about how it like retries. So it's actually a useful utility. This aside, it's actually quite a useful utility. So yeah, worth a thing to put in your toolbox is GDD Rescue. That's for sure. So let's have a look and see if there's any chatter going on. Hello everyone. Oh gosh, there's some more people arrived. Hello everyone. Hello Ali. Hello Chris Weir. Hello Pedro. Yes, it is impossible to determine which way up a USB stick should go. However, many years ago, I don't know if it's still on the shelf here. No, it's not. The shelf of crud behind me. Many years ago, I got an Ubuntu phone, an Ubuntu, what was it? The Meizu Pro 5. And it was a USB Type-C charging port. And the other end, the USB-A end, that end, the bit in the middle, the plastic bit, moved up and down. So you could actually insert it either way up on the A end. It was like a revolution. So, and I only had one of those cables, and I kept hold of it very, very tightly. So that's it. It's written. That didn't take long. That was nice and quick, wasn't it? 1 minute 37 seconds. USB 3 for the win. So what we're going to do now that I've got it on the stick, we need to choose which test we're going to do, because that will dictate what I do next. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this, Chromium. So we are going to test Eon Daily, and we're going to go down to Lubuntu. And there's two options here. Install using Calamares and use the live session. Let's use this. So here are the steps I need to do. There's a link there to where you can go and get the download from. Well, I've got the latest daily image. So what we'll do is we'll just crack on through this and see how we get on. So I'm going to have this open on another screen, and I'm going to flick to the laptop so you can see what's going on with the laptop. So I won't be able to have both on screen at the same time. So what I'm going to do is shut down this here laptop, and then I'm going to stick the USB key that we just wrote in here like that, and then turn it back on again. And once again, I'm using my test laptop, my ThinkPad X220, which is a good workhorse machine. I highly recommend if you're looking for a oh, I should press that, shouldn't I? Beep, and then choose a boot device, and I'll come back to that sentence. I do a lot of this, half a sentence, and then right. So there we go. Right, I'm just going to move this so it stops the timer. If you're looking for a laptop that is good for doing this kind of stuff, like testing, but actually is a useful machine, the X220 is a really, really nice laptop. And there's loads of them about, because loads of corporates bought them, and then they all get flogged off on eBay. And so there's tons of them around. Some people prefer the X230. Obviously, it's a generation newer. This is Sandy Bridge CPU, so it's pretty old. But it's a nice machine. I highly recommend it, especially if you chuck an SSD in it and a bit more RAM. And it's really easy to get inside and like hack it apart and stuff. And it's got an M2 port slot in it as well, so you can put two drives, a 7mm like normal size drive and an M2. Anyway, enough of the ThinkPad chat. You're not here for that. Right, so it says in the instructions, if you're following along, the first thing I need to do is boot up the image and select your language. So yeah, that's good. Press enter over the start Lubuntu text. Okay, away we go. So I assume it's loading off the USB stick now. Opportunity for me to have a look at the chat. Yes, USB-C did fix the whole inserting thing. USB-C is lovely. Yes. This is useful for picking up neat CLI commands. I completely agree. I watch other people's live streams and sometimes think, I didn't know you could do that, which is why I love watching these like nerdy kind of streams. I realise not for everyone, but interesting. Okay, so that's not good because it's spanned across two screens. So what I'm going to do is try and get it so you can see what I can see, which is hopefully, I mean, this might be a problem. It might not. Yeah. Oh dear, Lubuntu. Well, this is our first problem. I don't actually know how to get what I see here onto this screen, because is there somewhere to set? Is there like a display thing? I apologize. I've not used this for ever. So if any of you in the chat know how to set the display, oh look, can I type display in here? Because I mean, I appreciate you can't see the menu that I'm looking at, but pressing function and F7 doesn't do the display switching where it switches between internal, external, and both, which works on other distros. So I mean, that's either a missing feature in Lubuntu or it's a bug. Display properties. Well, I'm searching in the menu for display and I can't see anything. So I'm looking under System Tools. Nothing. I might, at some point I might actually have to resort to preferences, LXQt settings, appearance, brightness, date and time. There's LXQt configuration center. Oh, that looks good. Where there's monitor settings. That's what we want. Monitor settings. Fast options. Unified view. Is that what I want? Yes, that is what I want. There we go. So now I've got that working. I can show you how I got there. So, apologies. I'm a newbie with Lubuntu. Thank you for the help, everyone. We went to System Tools. No, we didn't. We went to Preferences, LXQt Settings, LXQt Configuration Center, and then under Monitor, there's this Fast menu, which is good because it has exactly those options that I was looking for. So I went for Unified View, bop. The internal display and what you're seeing show the same thing. So that's a good learning thing. I've learned something today. So it says the next step is step 3 on the thing. On the desktop, click the Start Lubuntu XXYY option to open the installer. Woohoo! So as I understand it, this is Calamares. I don't think I've done an install with Calamares for a long time. So this is interesting. Cubicle Nate says, what was the ThinkPad he recommended? X220. Yes, absolutely. Or the 230. A friend of mine just found a X270, I think, on eBay for a very inexpensive amount of money, like 250 quid, something like that. I mean, you can get them a lot cheaper. Okay, so the next step says set your language localization in the drop down and click next. So it's saying I'm not connected to the internet, but that's fine. I haven't put it on the Wi-Fi yet, which I think is normal. Like, you might be on the Wi-Fi, you might not. What if you're doing an install at somebody else's house or your Wi-Fi doesn't reach that far, or, there's plenty of reasons why you might install without the network. I think that's perfectly reasonable. So I'm British, so I choose British English. And then it says hit next. Now, I appreciate I'm doing this really, really super slow. And it wouldn't normally take you this long because you wouldn't be explaining everything you're doing to a live stream. So it says next. Select your time zone and hit next. So I'm in London. I could have chosen it via the little droppy down things. The system language will be set to British. Numbers and dates and locale. British. Good. So I've set my time zone. That's step 5. Next is keyboard. So I've got a laptop. So it's a laptop keyboard. But that layout looks right with the hash in the right place and all the other bits and bobs in the right place. And I can test it down here. This is always a good test. Does the slash work? Does the hash work? It's ludicrous. I don't need to press it 3 times. I only need to press it once to confirm it works. It's pretty stupid, really, isn't it? That all works. Test the keyboard layout in the given box, which should set correctly. Right. Hit next. Select the Erase Disk radio box. Erase disk. Now, this is the internal drive. There's only one drive in this machine. So, yep, that's correct. This is quite pretty, isn't it? I like that. I mean, discs don't look like that anymore, so it's an SSD. They might want to change that icon. And so I choose Erase Disk. A partition layout should be shown, which uses all disk space and the bootloader. Just so you know what I'm doing, I'm following this guide here. Yeah. The partition layout should be shown, which shows all disk space, and the bootloader should be installed on the correct disk. So use all disk. So current, there's something on it. After, Ubuntu. Shouldn't that say Lubuntu? Should it? Bit of a picky thing there, really. Should say Lubuntu. Yeah, I think that should. And to help me remember to make a fun bug about that, I mean, it may be intentional, I don't know. I'm just going to take a photo of it because I'll forget otherwise. Pop. Right. Erase disk. Bootloader on the correct disk. Bootloader on the master boot record of DevSDA, which is the only disk. Boom. Confirm the details. So hit next. Confirm the details. Oh, enter details about the main system user and click next. Sorry, I skipped a step. What is your name? Alan Pope. Alan. That's interesting. Calamares does a different thing from Ubiquity. Ubiquity defaults to just your first name for your user, but Calamares seems to default to first name and the first letter of your last name. Just different doesn't mean one's better than the other. Deep Thought is the name of this computer, and I'm going to put in my password. Boom. And hit next. And then we're at step 9. Confirm the details you entered throughout the install are correct. Hit install. And then install now. You will not be able to undo these. Boom. Excellent. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Wait, Alan, didn't you install Ferrin OS Next in a VM one time from Biddle Challenge and use Calamares? Yeah, maybe. I think that's what I mean. I haven't used Calamares much. It's not a thing I've used a lot because I don't install. Well, actually, that's not true. I've got VirtualBox installed on this machine, and yeah, I'll show you. Actually, I'll show you how many machines I have on here. VirtualBox, right? Hopefully, I can show you this. Right, this is my VirtualBox on this machine. I assume. Oh, you're not going to be able to see that yet until I do this. So yes, I have quite a lot of Linux distros installed in virtual machines. These are all the VMs I have. Oh my gosh! And some of them, are just like one-offs that I use just to test stuff. Like, for example, this one here. Someone made a video on YouTube that said if you remove snapd, it breaks your desktop. So I span up a VM to test that, and that's just one-off. And I don't need that anymore, so I could just discard that that entire thing. So yeah, bop, gone. And then there's all the others that I like play with, and every so often I'll wake them up and just let them update themselves and then shut them down again. So look, that one updated 2019 10.06, and then I take a snapshot of them, and I do that like so that I can go back to the past and redo an update or something just to confirm something. So I've got a snapshot when it was first installed, and then a snapshot when I updated it, and so on and so on and so on. So I've got quite a lot of these. I've even got Red Hat and Pop OS and OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. Hello, Nate. See, I have got it, although it doesn't look like I've up. Oh, I haven't booted that one for a while. That one I have, though. Oh, no, a year. Whoops. So, yeah, I have a lot of VMs. I've even got this category that I call crusty releases, which are really old versions of various things. Like, I've got loads of old versions of Ubuntu and Fedora Core 1, and that was quite funny, installing Fedora Core 1. Yeah, so yes, I do install lots of different distros. So I have tried Calamares, definitely. I just I don't remember it. You make my hard disk jealous with the amount of VMs. Well, yes, I am very lucky in that this machine, if I they're all in /data, I think. Data, virtual. They're all in there. VirtualBox, VMs. 500 gig on those, and another 80 odd gig. Oh my gosh. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I some people would call me a hoarder. They might consider that I have an unhealthy collection of Linux distributions. But on the flip side, if someone says to me, this doesn't work in whatever distro, I can spin up a VM and test it. And this machine is quite quick, so it doesn't take long for me to spin it up. The disk that's got all those VMs on is a NVMe drive. It's just a laptop. And yeah, it's pretty quick, so that's quite handy. So what I should do now is, while this is doing it, I appreciate it's nearly finished, but what I could do is choose another distro while we wait. I'll come back to, oh man, I've got 2 mice on my desk and it's really throwing me. We could come back to that. I could pick a different one, so we could try Budgie, for example. That'd be a good one to do next. So what I'll do is, while the install's running, I'll get another USB stick and we'll have DD on that, DD Rescue Budgie on there. Bop. So dmessage minus TW. Is that SDA again? Whoops. Yes. So umount. Yes. Whoops. Okay. And then we're going to do DD Rescue, minus D, force, and then we're doing, which one did I say? Ubuntu Budgie. Oh wow, what's it called? Ubuntu Budgie. So I've got to look around the corner here because the 11, because it goes off the screen. There we go, that onto dev SDA. Whoop, whoop. So that's working. Okay, so while that's doing that, we go back to the test we were running. Allow the machine to reboot is the next step. So it's actually finished doing the install now. All done. Lubuntu has been installed on your computer. You may now restart to your new system or continue using the Lubuntu live environment. Restart now. Done. So this is where it's all going to disappear for you, because and then I yank the right, it's rebooting now, I think. Yes, good. So I've pulled the USB stick out, so that one's done. The system boots properly and loads Lubuntu, showing the username you entered. That's what should happen. Baron says, yeah, is it me, or does Calamari's full screen and lack of title bars in Lubuntu remind you a bit of Ubiquity in 904? Yeah, actually it reminds me more of the Fedora install and the Debian graphical install. Great success. Look at that. Well, I mean, we should now, I mean, we could log in, but actually that isn't part of the test. So ensure the system boots up and loads Ubuntu, showing the username you entered. I mean, I can log in and we'll see what happens. We got the same problem, so I'm going to have to do the old splitteroo screen thing. Oh man, I lost it then. Preferences, LXQt settings, configuration center, monitors, fast options, unified view. Yes. Close, close. Right, so great success. I'm happy with that. So what do we do? Gosh, look, person's been super busy. So I would say past comment. So they're using comments to define what settings they used. Okay. So I will just say on the correct keyboard, ThinkPad X220. i7 16 gigabytes, 240 gigabyte, 50 gigabyte SSD, I think. 50 gigabyte. Default options chosen. Everything okay. Submit result. Boom! That's how easy it is to do QA on Ubuntu. It's just not hard, is it? Sweet. So, you know, I could carry on doing this for just each distro I do. That was good fun. I enjoyed that. And I learned something. So, you know, what's not to like? Plus, this is really pretty. I like this. Let's have just a 5-minute noodle around, because I don't know if my ISO has finished. It probably has finished. Has it finished DDing? Halfway there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of time to do a bit of noodling around. So let's noodle around Lubuntu. So I assume that's my network. Ah, yeah, it is. Boom. So let's get on the old Wi-Fi. Does that work? Yes. Connection established. Good. What's this notification? One unattended notification. LXT Power Management. What's this? You're running LXQT Power Management for the first time. You can configure it from settings. Okay, let's do that. I mean, you're asking me to do it. Oh dear. Well, we found a bug. I don't know if that's supposed to work or what. Oh no, it's gone away now. Oh, bum. Where? Oh, because I clicked it, it went away. And I can't reproduce. Oh, I don't know. Is there some way to see old? No. Drat. So I need to make a note of that one as well. I mean, what I could do is start looking for bugs. I mean, did anyone mention power management down here? No. Okay. So I'll probably have to go and have a look for a bug in Lubuntu, or speak to the Lubuntu devs, jump on IRC and speak to the devs and find out if they know about an existing bug. It's a bug, it's a pretty wide scale bug. Interesting. Well, that's good. I mean, we found a bug, so hooray. So how can I get on? What's the quickest way for me to get on? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Where do the Lubuntu devs hang out? Let's go. Choose. Oh, I should make this text bigger. Wrong window. Sorry, I have focus follows mouse, which means stuff like that happens. IRC. Connect irc.freenode.net. Boom. Check it out. Nick Popey. Testing. Join Lubuntu dev, is it? No. Lubuntu. Okay. So is Lubuntu off topic? Lubuntu devel. Lubuntu devel. Hello. I'm testing 1011 image and got a pop. I got a pop-up about configuring power management. Also, you're live on YouTube. Oh, this is good fun. Thank you, Rick, for being ahead of me, as you always are. Clicking the button did nothing. I'll redo it. In fact, I could just restart this laptop, can't I? That's the quick and easy thing to do, and see if I'm going to reboot the laptop. Ah, Ferrin says he's seen it in plasma. I tried to warn them. Brilliant. Oh, dear me. This is great fun. I love this. See? This is why I love Ubuntu. Everyone's so nice. Right. Oh, can I just make that bigger? Oh, make it that much bigger. Right. So my laptop has restarted. Yeah, successfully. So let's log in again and see if we get that thing again. Let me just Preferences, execute, configuration center, monitor, unified view. Yes, close, close. Arguably, that is also a bug. Should remember that. Drat. I thought that might come back, but it hasn't. Okay. I wonder if to reproduce this, I could do an install again, couldn't I? I could just wipe it and do it again. And I could choose some different options in order to give me 2 bites of the cherry. So let's do that. I will shut down. Yes. I will shut this down. Boot. And yeah, that's what we'll do. Sorry, this is in my head. I'm thinking, how can I make effective use of my time? And it would make sense for me to do the install again, but maybe choose a couple of different settings, like, oh, crikey, wrong button, that one. So I could try doing an encrypted install or an automatic logon or something slightly different, so I get a useful second test. Kinks, that's the one. And then see if the error happens a second time. So let's run through the test all over again. Reinstall with custom partitioning. Yeah, I could do that, actually. That's a good idea. So I chose English. I click Start Lubuntu. So again, Start Lubuntu on the desktop. Click Start Lubuntu XXYY. I've got the text up in Chromium again, so that I'm following, the same path. Ah, I've got it. I've got it on the screen now in the live session. Hopefully I can leave it on the screen. So I didn't actually need to do the install. Execute configuration center, monitor. Yes. Close. And now if I go down here, there we go. Boom. Right. If someone wants to take a screenshot of that, I can type into IRC while someone does that. I went away. Okay, so what was it called? Oh man, it's gone. It was LXQt Power Manager. LXQt Power Manager, wasn't it? Oh dear. Hello, Adam. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Silent. Welcome. Oh gosh, there's so many people. Thank you for joining us. Well, what I could do is just reboot again. Now that I know that you can get this error. Oh, Farron, you got it, did you? Copy link. Oh man, I keep pressing the wrong keyboard. Yes. Well done for getting that screenshot. Okay. Excellent. So Simon, who is one of the developers, says he knows exactly what that pop-up is. Hooray! So that's good to know. Good. So they're aware of it. That's good. We can move on. So I'm going to move on to... What did we decide to do? We decided to do Budgie, didn't we? And let's finish DDing. Let's take that stick out. And now, reboot into Budgie land. Right. Oh man, I just pressed the wrong button. That happens a lot on this live stream. So, I'm going to put this USB stick in, which has Budgie on it. And I need to find the test case for Budgie. So let's get it booting to the F12. Thank you, Farron. Thank you very, very much for screenshotting that. I do appreciate it. Go team. Right, so we are now on Budgie. So I'm going to go and find the Budgie. Okay, so Budgie, there's lots of test cases. Look at all of these. Wow, look at all of them. Okay, so we've got install and auto resize. That might be an interesting one because we know we've got Lubuntu on there. We could install Budgie and have it auto resize the disk. We've got it wipe and reinstall. Check out the live session. We might be able to kill two birds with one stone. Let's have a look at what... let me get rid of that and that. And let's have a look at what the live session one looks like and the auto resize session one looks like. So, use and execute the default applications. All applications should function without error. That sounds like the sort of test case that we can do. Then do this one. Install and auto resize. Yes, I think that's a double whammy with one ISO image. So, boot up the image. English. Try Ubuntu Budgie without installing. Let's see how this goes. Pedro, it was LXQT Power Management, was it? Okay. Thank you. Oh, this is great fun. I love doing this. Run out of coffee, though. That's a problem. The other thing is, because I'm so used to running Ubuntu, running one of the other flavors is... I mentioned this yesterday, is good anyway to get another set of eyeballs on the flavor. Actually, something I didn't mention to them on IRC, I need to mention to them before I forget. I'm just mentioning to them that the function key, screen switch, or Super P didn't do fast switching. Don't know if it's missing functionality. And I realise you can't see me typing, so there you go. If it's missing functionality or a bug. There we go. So let's leave that with them. Right, we are now on Budgie, and interestingly, while I was chatting, the screen has locked. Let's see if I can show it to you. No, I can't. Drat. I've got the log on screen. Ah, there we go. Like that. So this is an interesting thing. Budgie clearly uses Ubuntu Budgie uses light DM. Because you notice if I move the mouse away from this screen. Oh, that way? No, which way? Where's the second screen? Is it? Or am I mistaken? How did that get over there? Oh, there we go. I just pushed the mouse harder. So you see the login thing coming and going. That's because I've got the laptop screen and the other screen. And when you move the mouse, this is a feature I really miss from Light DM. I mention this every time, so I'm sorry. Anyway, if I hit login, oh look at that! That's beautiful, isn't it? Wi-Fi network's available. So let's connect to the Wi-Fi because this is when Ubiquiti starts. Try Budgie and wait for the session to start. Use and execute the default applications. Right. So what's that? That's software. Well, that's not going to work without the network. But what happens if you try? Welcome to shopper software. You get an error. Cannot resolve hostname. That's horrible, really, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it can't get to the network, but you know, surely it should be able to talk to Network Manager. Does this use Network Manager? That doesn't look like Network Manager. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it can't talk to the network. Okay. Is that a bug? Go online. 87. Did you hear that? I nearly read out my Wi-Fi access point password then. Oh, I'm such an idiot. So let's try that again. Let's. Oh, you can't see what I can see. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Look, we've had a crash. That's not good, is it? How do I make it go to both screens? There we go. So what I did that you didn't see is I opened software and I got a little dialog box pop up here. Sorry, I keep doing that. So GNOME software works, and there's a bug here. What's this? GNOME session binary. Oh, here's a good thing. Something crashed. So let's remember this in future and send the crash. So I appreciate some people hate this dialog box, and you know, I have some sympathy. But it's actually a good idea to just hit send because what it does is sends the crash reports to errors.ubuntu.com. Like, for those who aren't aware, this website, errors.ubuntu.com, is the error tracker. And if something crashes and you get that pop-up box and you hit send, it goes here. And the data is hidden. There's a limited set of people who have access to the crash reports, but it does produce a summary down the bottom, down here. And so you can see, you know, which applications are the most crashy, what releases those crashes happen on, and where the crash was. And if it was significant, like this one, there's 300 occurrences of this, it gets turned into a bug report, either manually by a human or auto-magically by this bug bridge thing. And then, you know, look at that number of duplicates of that bug. Lots of duplicates of that bug. So someone is, I mean, this guy, Olivier, is one of the developers who looks after Chromium in Ubuntu. So, you know, the right person is now looking at that bug. And probably the people who are experiencing this don't even know it's just crashing in the background and sending the crash report. He can look at it, fix it, and then those people no longer have a problem. So I feel, you know, I feel torn because I understand that dialog box annoys people because it like punches you in the face with this thing crashed. And people say Ubuntu is more crashy. Well, it's not. It's just that you know about the crashes, whereas on other platforms, you don't even know the thing has crashed in the first place. So I find this super useful, super interesting. And, you know, these graphs are interesting to someone, I'm sure, but it shows the relative crashiness of one release over compared to another, which is quite interesting, I guess, if you're into, like, data and stuff. So, yes. Anyway, that's enough about that. I'll get off my high horse there. So let's carry on noodling around Budgie. So I opened software, that worked. Rhythmbox. I haven't got any music. We can fix that. Now I'm on the network. I can... Ooh. Oh, keyboard layout's wrong. Oh, because the default is American. Right, so let's leave that buzzing away, and I'll come back to music in a bit. I'm just copying some music over onto this machine. I mean, it's a live environment, so I can't copy much, and I've got quite a lot. So I probably don't want to do this. Yeah. What is this? Is this Adele or someone? Yeah, probably. Well, let's just stop it and see if that actually works. So if I go to Rhythm Box now, hello, music. Why are you not showing me the music? Where's the file manager? Music. Yes, it was Adele. Why are you not showing me those tracks? Why? Why you no show me? Why? How'd you refresh this? Add music. Oh, there you go. Now it knows where to look. Sweet. So I'm going to mute this laptop and then play one of them. Oh, look at that. That works. These controls probably work as well. Do they? What happened there? Did it move on to the next track? Oh, is it actually playing? I think it's trying to play. Oh, it is. Look, there you go. Can I? Yes, it is. I'm not going to play it for long, but that is actually playing. So that's a successful test. LibreOffice Writer. Did you know you can get documentation and free user guidebooks at more info? What do you mean at and then more info? Worst dialogue ever. Well, this is also shown Firefox works. Wow, this is really nippy. Like on, and bear in mind I'm running this on a live environment. That's pretty cool. Feel free to throw any questions my way. I can't guarantee I can answer them, but if you've got any questions, feel free. What's next? LibreOffice Calc. Well, they have different icons depending on whether it's small or large. That's quite cute. I like that. Well, that launches. You know, I'm sure there's... Let's create an agenda. Yep. That'll do. My agenda. Boom. Here we go. You too can create a meeting agenda on a live USB stick. That's cool. File manager we had a look at earlier. This is pretty groovy. That works. No documents. Oh, where's my agenda? I didn't save it, did I? There's the music. I haven't got any pictures, but if I take a screenshot, yep, a picture appears in there, and then I can take a screenshot of that, and screenshot appears in there, and then I can take a screenshot of that. Right, so multiple screenshots work inside there. Weird PNG files open with is this a web browser? It is. It's a web browser. Is there not like an image viewer thing? Graphics. There is. G-Thumb image viewer. Kind of surprised that PNG files don't open with that. I mean, you can use that, but is that the default file association? Is PNG files open with a browser? Okay. That's good. What other default applications are on here? So, I mean, you get the idea. You can poodle around in here. What's the calendar? Is that GNOME calendar? Is it? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it. Yes. It's pretty cool. Oh, and there's Firefox. Cheese. Is that going to work? Hello, Mum. I'm on telly. So that works. Ooh. Wait, what was that name there? Shagadelic. Oh my god. Oh dearie me. So that also works. So yeah, at a high level, I could get sucked into a game of Minesweeper here. That one, not that one. Yeah, not that one. Also not that one. Must be that one. Maybe. No, no. Yes, must be that one. You didn't tune in to watch me play Minesweeper, did you? No, 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 no. That one's got to be that one. Oh. That one is one. That one isn't. That one must be. That one isn't. Ow, poo. Minesweeper works. Good testing, Alan. Partition editor. Can we look at the partition editor? That works. I can see my partitions. Yeah. So, yeah, basically just go through everything and make sure all the applications work. Make sure all the little things up here work. I could do a quick note. Oh, man, that's cool. It's got a note-taking app by default. Nightlight. Does that work? I don't know. Places. Oh, Ubuntu Budgie's nice, isn't it? 99%. If I hit this, does that? Yes, that changes. That's good. Bluetooth as well. Bluetooth airplane mode. Bluetooth settings. Yep, you can see my phone from here. That's good. That looks good. Sweet. Looking good so far. Ubuntu Budgie video YouTube tearing. Oh, really? Yeah, there's tearing, is there? Wonder if that's a... oh, I need to find a video that's not going to get me content blocked. Oh, mine. Will YouTube videos play on the live environment? Oh, this is going to be weird. Yeah. You probably won't see tearing on this because it's not fast moving, is it? Oh. I don't know, it looks alright. Wonder if that's only on specific GPUs. Okay, you can continue that conversation in the chat over there. So this is looking pretty groovy. Let's go back to the test thing. All applications. Okay, I can't really confidently say I've tested all applications. I've gone through a lot of them. I think you'd really need to go through all of them to prove and sign off that test case. So what I'll do is I'll move on to the other one, which is this one. No, this one. But what I'm going to do, because I've noodled around a bit, I may have compromised the install, so I'm going to restart to do this clean test case, because I've got music that I put on there and who knows what else I've monkeyed with. I mean, in theory that should work, but I'm just going to restart this system. Did I hit the ThinkPad button in time? Yes. So really, I think the lesson you can learn from this. English. Ah, now here I can change my keyboard layout. If you press F3, I can choose UK. There we go. And then hit try. The lesson you can learn is if you don't get distracted and just focus on like one test, you can go through it one line at a time and very easily prove that, you know, one particular ISO works. And I think that takes no more than like, you know, 5-10 minutes to write the ISO to a USB stick. 15 minutes max to do the install. Maybe 20 minutes to do the install if you have to make notes about things that didn't work. So within an hour, you can very certainly go through some of these tests. And it's just a super easy contribution to Ubuntu. It's not like you got to write any code. You know, the hardest thing is going to be signing up to Launchpad. So boot up the image. Let's do this set of tests. Click on the install Budgie icon. There we go. The keyboard layout screen appears. Well, no. the welcome screen appears. But yeah, we'll cut them some slack that their test is slightly badly written. You press continue, then the keyboard layout appears. The proposed keyboard corresponds with your keyboard. Yes, UK. And let's do the usual test. $, hash, pound symbol, hashtag, whatever you want to call it. So that works. Hit continue. On the screen, preparing to install Budgie. See? Skipped a bit here. Whether you want to... Oh, crikey. You also get punched in the face with a Budgie welcome. I don't think this should appear on the live CD. What do you think? I personally think this is... well, okay, so there's a big install button. And all this is help, I guess. There's nothing in here that's going to let you shoot yourself in the foot, is there? Actually, this is quite nice, isn't it? I like this. Preparation. Oh man, this is so nice. That's not a Budgie icon. That looks like an Ubuntu Mate icon. Customization. Yeah, this is good. See, I'm getting distracted again. This is very pretty. How do you get back to the beginning? Oh, press back again. Where did that install button go? Where did that go? I'm going to close that and carry on with the test that I was doing before I was rudely interrupted by Ubuntu Budgie welcome. I'm not going to connect to the network. It doesn't tell me to, so I'm not going to. Right. This set of tests is not up to date. Going to install Budgie. Load updates. Not on a laptop, plugged into source. Okay. So download updates is grayed out because I didn't connect to the network. If on a laptop, am I plugged into a power source? Does it test for that? I don't know if I pull the cable out. I'll go back and forward again. Does it tell me I should plug into a power source? Oh, no. I thought maybe it was suggesting there's going to be a... maybe that's in a later screen, I don't know. But normal installation, install third-party software. Option is available. I could choose that. I'm not going to. I think most people would, like under normal circumstances, but I want to do a default install and just see what happens. Oh, there we go. So, preparing installation type. There's nothing about this on here, on the text. Computer currently has Ubuntu Ionomine. What would you like to do? Well, we want to do that, don't we? We want to do install Budgie alongside because we want to do this. The whole thing about this is it's the resizing test case, but the test case looks poorly written because oh look, report an issue with this test case. Haha, good. Okay, I'll report that once I start installing. Good. Okay. So I can report a bug with the test case. Super, I didn't know I could do that. So let's just hit continue. Debian logo. So allocate drive space by dragging the divider below. Wow, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, let's like, you know, something like half and half, about that. Something like that. Install now. The changes have to be written to the disk. Click on continue. dialog will appear asking if you want to write changes. Select continue. The where are you screen is displayed. Well, no, actually. Do you want to write the changes to this? Oh yeah, continue. A dialog will appear asking you where are you screen is displayed. Okay. Yes, I am in that there London. And then we fill in if your system is connected to the network, the pre-selected time zone will be right. Select your time zone. Who are you screen appears. Input your initial user details and password. Notice the difference here between this and Calamari's. See, it's got just my name and not Alan P. Oops, I can't type. There we go. Require my password to log in. Continue. There we go. Woo! So, while that's installing, I'll look at the chat and maybe we'll find a bug. I'm betting you right now it has to install Ubuntu Budgie welcome like Marto will be on the live session before it runs. Right, so should we find a bug about this test? I think I might need to run it again so I can capture the right bits that are wrong. Select your keyboard layout. On the preparing, note the availability. Yeah, it didn't ask me. I mean, it's not a catastrophe. I can figure it out. Good lord, this is almost finished installing already. This is jolly fast. Deep thought, yes. So all my computers' host names are named after computers from science fiction or robots in some way. And there's only one exception to that, and that's the ThinkPad that's behind me. For some reason I didn't. Well, the reason I didn't is because I was doing that installation at 30,000 feet with no network, and I couldn't think of a host name that was a computer that I'd not already used. So I've got things like Whopper, Shirker. Shirker is the computer from Ulysses 31, I think. I've got one called Mother, which is from Aliens. One called Colossus, from the film Colossus, the Forbin Project. Great film. So yeah, Colossus, Mother, Shirker. Those are my three servers. What else have I got? Yeah, Deep Thought, HAL, Whopper, all that kind of stuff. So yes, they're all named after computers or robots from science fiction. Okay, nearly finished. Meanwhile, you could write the next ISO to USB. Very good, Ali. Very, very good. Right, what's next? Let's go back to our thing full of ISOs. This one here. So yeah, this laptop is called Mother. Right, which one did we do? We did Lubuntu. We did Ubuntu Budgie. We could do. We've done Ubuntu Mate yesterday. What else have we got? Kubuntu, of course. Like I needed to ask. Marvin. No, I haven't got a Marvin. I felt Marvin, like calling something Marvin was too depressing. So, yeah, here you go. So we've got lots here. I could just U-mount. Oops. U-mount those. whatever. And then I could do a DD rescue again, but this time use... Oh man, can't see because this is Kubuntu Daily Live. That one. There. Boom. Excellent. So that's that started. Let's go back to... That's finished. So that was... Is that the end of the test? Click the restart button. GUI is shut down. Prompt to remove media. Enter appears. Remove the disk. Allow the machine to reboot. Select the first option. Installation boots. Reboot the machine. Select the previous installed system. So yes, this is a very good test. We need to make sure that we can still boot into the other OS that was on this system. So that's what we need to do next, is restart the system, and we'll get offered to yoink the USB stick out. Usually it says press enter to, but it didn't. It just rebooted. So do we get a grub menu, I wonder? I'm not touching the keyboard or anything. Yeah, I can't read that. That is too small for me to read. Excuse me while I zoom. So the first option says Ubuntu, and then further down Ubuntu Eon Ermine. So we'll just take the first option. That should be the one we want, because that'll be Budgie. GLaDOS, yeah. Yeah. GLaDOS, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. I used to use a Wikipedia page that was just like a big list of computers from science fiction. Right, so woohoo, we are in like Flynn. Press Super P to switch so you can see my desktop. That's the one. Right, they're mirrored now. I need to turn the brightness up as well. Does that work? Yes. Oh, that's better. I can actually see what's on the screen now. So that's a success. We're now in Budgie, and I assume, you know, stuff works, although I'm not on the network, so that's going to fail. Oh, no. And, you know, I can launch applications, and everything works really funky, and that's all good. Good. So, Budgie successfully installed. Happy. Now, the last part of the test was reboot the machine, select the previously installed system. So, restart your device. Just as Budgie Welcome punches me in the face. So we're going to reboot, and this time choose whatever the previous flavor we were testing was. I can't read that again. So what one is it? That one? Ubuntu Eon. Yes, that's the one. So this should boot. What did we have? Lubuntu, didn't it? Waiting on you to say KDE is going fine on your ThinkPad. Woohoo! We're back in Lubuntu. So dual boot worked. There was no problem. Interestingly, keyboard layout. I'm pretty sure I chose UK. Why is Lubuntu not respecting my choices there? I don't know. I'll have to retest that. So the amount of testing you do, like, sometimes you'll find bugs that are, you know, catastrophic. Like, nothing I've found so far is catastrophic. It's, you know, I could get the OS installed. I could play with the applications. So to my mind, they all like pass this test. And so those the glitches here and there and the weird pop-up box, I don't think those kind of things would block the release. And when we get this close to the release on Thursday, I'm not the release manager, but I think typically the release manager will look at important bugs which are critical and will block the release only if those bugs aren't fixed. You know, a weird color or the wrong icon somewhere, or you know, a pop-up or something like that. Those aren't release critical. And so far, I don't think I've seen anything release critical. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I got the thing installed and I got a dual boot environment installed. So so I'm going to submit a past result for this because it's successfully installed. Why can I not submit a past result? Am I on the wrong thing or something? Oh, archived. Oh my god, am I looking at the wrong test? Is that why I'm looking at the text wrong? Ian Daily. Have I run the wrong test? Am I some kind of idiot? Don't answer that. Ubuntu Budgie desktop 680. Install auto resize. How did I manage to get to an archived one? Why did it say archived and this one doesn't? Weird. Look, well, that doesn't really matter because that text is. Yep. Excellent. So I would say that's a pass. No critical bugs, no bugs that I'm going to report. Type on the right keyboard, Alan. ThinkPad. X220, i7, 16 gig, 250 gig. Dual, no, installed side by side with Ubuntu 1910. Install worked successfully. Happy smiley face. From 2019 10/11 media. Happy smiley face. Boom. Sweet. Right. What's next? How did I get there? How did I get to here? I don't know. Weird. Maybe a change was made to the test tracker while I was using it. I don't know. So we decided Kubuntu was next, didn't we? Right. Any questions? I really miss all the mem test on EFI systems. Yeah, mem test is one of those super useful things. Right, so has the DDing finished? The DDing has finished. Wow, that took longer. I wonder if this USB stick is deader or that's bigger. It was Lubuntu, wasn't it? I wonder if their image is a lot smaller. Could be. So, let's yoink that out and let's do a Kubuntu install. What type of install should we do today? Right, let's boot this machine up and press the blue Think Vantage button. Thank you all for hanging around, by the way, everyone. It's the older you get, the more senior moments become. Yeah, I'm resigned to these senior moments happening to me all the time. Ooh, hey, what? Kingston Data Traveler. Oh, I don't know what I did wrong there. So, good. We've got to that point. Let's go and have a look at the test cases. We could do an encrypted install. That'd be fun. Try one of those. Always good for a laugh. Or OEM setup, something like that. Kubuntu doesn't use Calamaris, does it? Kubuntu uses... I don't know. We'll find out. Right. So this is not archived, right? I'm not being an idiot and using the wrong test case. Right. Let's go. So this is the test case I'm using. By the way, I'm not sure you'll be able to sudo apt install like the install on your machine for the good login screen. Yeah, I know. I think it's all tied to GDM now, isn't it? Which is a bit of a shame because I really like DM. But hey ho, things move on. The slow march of progress gets to us all. So it says, boot the image. The system boots properly and loads the installer, displaying the welcome dialog with language selection and try Kubuntu. Did it ask me for the language? Or did I just press enter? I think I might have. Anyway, that's the language thing. And keyboard layout. Click on the install Kubuntu. Oh, I have skipped a bit. With the language selection, try Kubuntu and install Kubuntu. Oh. That's because I intercepted it. Let's reboot and do it properly. So, hit the button. What this wants me to do is when you boot the ISO, there's a little thing at the bottom of the screen that you'll see briefly, which is the accessibility option. Keyboard equals accessibility. That means hit the space bar and you'll get the menu, and that's where you can turn on the accessibility options. And if you don't touch that, then it boots straight through to the graphical installer, assuming you don't need the accessibility options. And people who install Ubuntu know that the accessibility option is punch the space bar as soon as it boots, you get the menu, you can turn on the accessibility options, so you can get the screen reader and things like that, and high contrast mode and stuff. But I'm not booting with those. That's actually an interesting test, is to try doing the install using only the screen reader and not actually have the screen on at all. Like, blindfold yourself and try and do the install with it just reading out all the bits that are on the screen. It's quite fascinating. Right, so it's booted and I've got this on the screen. I don't know if I can do the switching screen, so let's try it. Function F7 does nothing, and Super P has actually switched language to Portuguese. So I need to bring this back down here and change it back to English, because that was a mistake. English, right. So I'm going to have to move this up here because I can't show you, I can't dedicate only the internal screen. I guess it's a limitation of the environment that the Kubuntu installer is running in, that it won't let me do the Super P or function F7. That just doesn't work. So it's interesting that some desktops do that and some don't, but there's not a lot I can do about that. I'm gonna have to move this onto another screen so I can see. I just can't read it. Oh god, I can't have that and the notes on screen at once. Let's try this. So click on the install Kubuntu icon. Install Kubuntu, that's this one. Doink. The keyboard layout screen appears. The proposed keyboard corresponds to your keyboard. English US. No, it does not. But then I didn't get to switch because I booted straight into this. I didn't choose a keyboard, so I have to choose one. Oh god. So one of the slight problems here is there's a delay between here and there because I'm capturing the video output. Select your keyboard layout. See, this one doesn't ask me about network either. Oh, so I'm just going to hit continue and not bother. Available options should present the state of your system correctly. Want the installation type screen? No. I don't understand. This text does not correspond to what I see there. Available options should present the state of your system accurately. If network is available, download updates when installing. If on a laptop is plugged into power source, all third-party software. Okay. On the screen, preparing to install Kubuntu. So this is not called preparing to install Kubuntu. This is called updates and other software. So the notes need updating. Click on the continue button. The installation type screen is going to appear. So we're doing a normal installation. Okay. What did we decide to do? We were going to do encrypted disk, didn't we? Okay, so another interesting dialogue. So we chose note the state of erase disk and radio button. Erase disk and install Ubuntu radio button is selected. Well, that needs updating as well. So we need that one. Oh my gosh. Encrypt the new Ubuntu install. Right, so that's the one we want. Encryption with LVM. So I need to put in a passphrase. It doesn't say that because it says the text says that it's a separate dialogue that asks me for a security key, but this looks like, is this Ubiquity or is this something? Is this Calamaris? I don't know. So I need to type in a security key. Let's make that. Ooh. I've made that the words security key. So before there were 2 installs, now there is 1 install. Okay, let's hit install. So I've put the security key. Check overwrite empty disk space. I didn't get that option. So I think these notes are for when it was, unless it comes after this. So this is going to do the formatting of the disk. Yeah, looks like these test cases are outdated. What time zone am I in? Now I can either go bop and just choose that, or I can go like that and choose. And now it's doing all the disk formatting and stuff. What's next? Your name. Alan Pope. Alan. Choose a password. No. Deep port. Require my password to log in. Next. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Pitfall of having 2 mice. Woohoo! Thanks for picking Kubuntu. So, while that does that, let me go back to the chat. Oh my gosh, loads of chat. Oh, while that's installing, let's look at the chat. It won't work because Plasma Shell. Okay. So Ferrin says I can't do the switching displays because Plasma's not running. It's just the installer. Okay, that makes sense. Or start KDE or something. Yeah. Entering try mode will give me the full. That's true. If I'd have clicked on try, then I'd get the full KDE desktop, and at that point I could choose to switch display. That's true. Yeah, you're right. When I pressed Super P, it ignored the super button and just did P and jumped to Portuguese. Always encrypt your disk. Well, I don't know, really. Always? I mean, that does make sense to some degree. What if it's a server? Like, when it reboots, you won't be able to type in the key, will you? Well, you'll have to type in the key for it to boot properly, otherwise, it won't be able to mount the discs or something. I mean, This isn't the server, obviously. This is a laptop. So yeah, it does make sense to choose encryption. Absolutely. Oh crikey, it's finished. Oh, has it? We want Kubuntu to work for everyone. We include a screen reader and modifier keys and more. Okay, so these are the accessibility options. I'm not going to choose these. Oh, they're not choosable. They're this is a slideshow. Okay, I thought these were options that I could pick. Sorry, my bad. This is a slideshow. Nice. What did I miss? Applications. Comes with all the applications you need on a daily basis. Sweet. I do like that cog logo. Right, so it's doing installing. Having a control. Yeah, I guess if it's a proper server and you've encrypted the disks, then you'll have like what do they call it? IPMI or something? Not IPMI. Yeah, that the connector that lets you like remote hands. Remote hands. Right. Installation is complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. Sweet. So that's what it says at the end of the thing. Remove the disk, press enter, allow the machine to reboot. So let's do that. Where's the mouse cursor? There it is. ILO, that's it. Yes. Yes, indeed. Is that glowing? It is, isn't it? Oh, that's really nice. I like that. Kind of like pulsating effects. That's quite pretty. I like these inventive boot screens that are a bit more interesting than just, you know, dots. How long have I been doing this? Golly gosh. This has been an hour and a half. It's like the longest stream I've ever done, ever. I'd appreciate, you know, if you like doing these kind of things. It's not especially technical. It's not behind the scenes. There's no, you know, secrets in here. This is all just stuff that people in the community can do at any time. It's just super convenient for me today because most of the family are out, and I can just, you know, load up OBS and away we go. This is taking a long time to restart, isn't it? Why is it taking so long? Okay, took a while, but it worked. Right, yank the USB stick out. What have we forgotten to do? Get another USB stick. Should we do one more? I could reuse one of these sticks, or I could check this out. I've got a classic USB stick here. Oh, I need to unlock the disk. There you go. Check out this classic USB stick. I can't remember. I think we found it in the office. It's not a very high capacity. Oh, it says on the back. It is a 4 gig. It's not focusing. It's 4 gig USB stick. I think it's USB 2. I'm not going to use it just because I know it'll be painfully slow. So that's one of the old style ones with the old logo. It's funny how you still see this circle of friends kicking around on the internet. And the new style USB keys are tiny, like this, and this is 8 gigabytes and has the new logo on it. If you ever go to an event where there's Ubuntu people, you'll probably find these things spread out all over a table, and it's one of these low profile ones that just has like the USB connectors right there, so it's smaller, less bulky than this thing, like when you look at them side by side, and twice the capacity as well. So woohoo, it worked. So I should be able to log on now. Oh wow! It immediately pops up the thing where you can, so quite the opposite. I can't really describe it. This thing that popped up without me doing anything. It noticed I'd got two screens, and so this thing popped up asking me what I wanted to do, and I just chose unify outputs. That's clever. I like that. Let's jump on the network. Sweet. And I'm going to submit a success pass thing because we successfully got an encrypted install done. So passed. Pad. I should put this in a note somewhere so I can just paste in the details about my system. X220 i7 16 gigabytes 250 gigabyte SSD successfully installed with locks encryption. What else? 19, 10, 11. Image used. So that's good. Submit result. I've achieved something today. That popping up is a plasma thing. Yeah, it's lovely. The USB key paradox. The smaller the key, the bigger the capacity. This is true. This one is smaller than both of those. And this one, so we've got giant key from the past, slightly smaller key from recently, and then even more recent key. And this one on the top is 64 gig. The orange one is 8 and the bottom one is 4. And they're faster as well. I think this is probably like USB 1 or something. This one is USB 2. And this thing is USB 3, so it's nice and quick. Actually, I think this belongs to Martin Wimpress. I've had this key for, I think, about 18 months. And this was the key I used when I was on a plane and I installed Kubuntu on my ThinkPad T450. So I need to give this back. I keep forgetting because it's so small and I just leave it lying around somewhere. And I sometimes use it for various things. But I should give that back to him. Right, did we decide what distro to do next? We're going to do another one? We didn't do any DDing, so interestingly, there was no Ubuntu Studio image downloaded. I don't know what's going on there, but I looked on CD Image, and that's the wrong browser. It's that browser. No. I don't know if the Ubuntu Studio guys don't do this, but their directory structure is a bit different. But there's a beta image, so I could test the beta image, but they don't do dailies by the look of it. Holy frioli, look at the size of that. Yeah, well, it contains a load of like high quality software on the image. Wowzers. So should we do one more? I wonder, well, should we do Kylin? I don't think I've ever installed Ubuntu Kylin, which, you know, it's spelled Kylin, but it's actually Kylin. Do we have any test cases for it? It's the good question. Eon Daily. Ubuntu. There we go. There is a set of test cases. Sweet. So we could do one of these. UK UI desktop. Wow. Ubuntu Kylin install. What should we do? Should we do a manual partitioning? We haven't done that one. We've done an auto resize. We've done an entire disk. We've done an encrypted one. We could do a manual partitioning. So yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to have to DD because I didn't prepare that, did I? Whoopsie. Let's start the DD, but it's not too slow. Let's use one of my quick USB sticks. Bop, bop, bop. You mount the stick, and then we want to do sudo d rescue -d Ubuntu Kylin that into dev sda. Oh, I didn't do force. Panic over. Force. What? Is that file empty or something? It's an empty file. Why is that an empty file? Ah, there is nothing for that day. There is one for the previous day. Okay, my bad. So let's do the one for the previous day. Whee! There we go. So that's going to take a minute or two. While that's doing, we could have a noodle around on my freshly installed Kubuntu install. I got called away and missed Kubuntu. You didn't miss it. Look, in all its glory, it's right here. It worked. I've got an encrypted install, Rick. It's great. I just got a pop-up that said there were some updates. Fetching updates. Oh, look at that. 32 updates. Let's just do them. I'm just using it as, you know, like a normal person might. You know, the first thing you do is get a pop-up telling you to update. So you update. Let's have a look around here. What have we got by default on Kubuntu these days? We've got Firefox web browser, which I assume works much like Firefox everywhere. Shooby-doop. That's good. What else have we got? We've got Discover. We already got that open. Contact, your PIM. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The email program encountered a fatal error and will terminate now. Invalid parent. Oh dear. Is that going to do a crash? Yes. Okay. Oh no, this is not a crash report. This is me doing account details. Do I really want to do this? This is what a normal person might do. I'm going to type my password in here. If I do that and hit next. Oh, well, this is for a wallet, isn't it? I guess. Don't get tempted to press that button while I'm on a live stream. What kind of account do you use? I don't use any of those. Check for more. Here's a Gmail account. Does that work? Oh, it's Google, isn't it? I'm just guessing. I've never used this thing before in my life, so I'm just flubbing around, not knowing what I'm doing. Code Lab. Top 3. None of those. That's me. How do you... Let's say it's mail. Why can't I pick one of these? Oh man. I was just looking for a calendar. Generic IMAP email server. That's what we want. Well, I don't want to set that up right now. But let's say it's that. Too much information for me to type in. I can't be bothered. But if I wanted to, I could. Oh, Kate. Does all the desktop snapping stuff work? Yes. Doink, doink. Yes. Can you do it in corners? Yes. I do like that. That's very nice. What else have we got installed by default? LibreOffice. All looks good. Super stuff. Oh, I like cases, God. Really like this. Especially this stuff. It's quite pretty. Watching all this stuff going around. File Manager. What is there a music app shipped by default with where would that be? Multimedia. Cantata. Okay. What? A feature-rich user-friendly music client. This is a lot of text for the very first run of a music app. Select how you would like a cantata to initially MPD. What? What? Basic user setup. So not shared with others. Yeah, that's me. Home Allo Music. There we go. Fetch missing covers. Go. Finish. No music. Oh. I think this is assuming a bit, isn't it? I mean, I could copy some music in, see what it does. Into the music. Oh, I can't spell music. Yes. Oh, minus R. Whee! So some music will appear there later while I look at the chat. Invalid parent. Yes. Yes. Yes, Rick. Sorry. I'm not blaming Kubuntu. This is a just me noodling around, and if I can't figure out how to do something, it's just me being an idiot, probably. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. Look at this network. Whee! That's me winging music across my network. Oh, look at that! Look at all those zeros. Do I really need to know to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decimal places how many kilobytes per second? Can't imagine I'm ever going to get down to that low kilobytes a second. Once you get that low, like 0.0001 kilobytes a second, I mean, it's as good as 0, isn't it? You might as well just put 0. Can't imagine there's a need for that amount of granularity in your network throughput rate. It's quite funny, isn't it? Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. I do like this. There's a memory thing in here as well, which I really like. Where is it? If I search for memory. Oops. I'm just, passing time while the ISO image is being copied for Kylin, which has got another 52 seconds to go. See, I like this memory thing. I love this, especially as this all moves around. Like, if you start doing big stuff, these, like, there you go. That one just went. It's constantly updating memory thing. I love it. I don't know why, but I'm a sucker for graphs. What else is shipped by default? Oh wow, loads of stuff. Spectacle, I like that. It's good for taking screenshots. What else? A3B. There's not a single machine in this room that has an optical drive. VLC, excellent. Pabu control, that's always handy. What else? What else have we got on here? Scan light. Is that like simple scan? Does it work over the network? I wonder if it'll find my printer downstairs that's got a scanner attached. Did not find any device. Okay. I suspect there's an extra package I need to install to find my network scanner. This is looking good. Good work. It's nice. When you think about it, this laptop is 8 years old, and I'm running a super modern desktop operating system on it. It's just delightful. I love it. I do love me a bit of KDE. There we go, and all the updates installed. Lovely jubbly. What was I doing? I was going to see if music would appear in that multimedia container. Now that I've copied music in. Add that. Oh, look at that. That works. Look, there's all my awful music. That works. Excellent. Good. Right, so good news, everyone. The Ubuntu Kylin ISO has finished. I think this will probably be the last one for today, don't you think? I think we've done enough of this for the moment. A couple of hours on a Saturday afternoon. You probably don't need to run sync. I mean, some people argue that typing sync actually doesn't achieve anything anyway. So I could probably get away with not doing that. So I'm going to stick the USB key in this machine, and it's going to be goodbye, Kubuntu. You'll be back soon, don't you worry. Let's do shutdown. Oh, it's just so pretty. I do like KDE. Right. An official Ubuntu KDE Plasma theme. What's that? Other than the graphic card in the X220 that isn't optimal for full HD video, the laptop is still an awesome machine. It totally is, Danny. It's a cracker, and it's really lightweight and compact as well. So for those of you, like, I could probably do this, and this is the machine itself. This is my X220 with a lava lamp behind it. So yeah, this is the X220. It's got quite a small trackpad, but it's got nice proper buttons for volume and stuff like that. But it's good. It's got a number of features that I really like the. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Oh man, I've ruined the camera angles now. It's got a bunch of USB ports. It's got DisplayPort and VGA. I've also got a docking station for it, which means I can plug more displays in. Right, let's get on with it. We're doing Kylin now. Now, I've been using a daily image. Very soon, the release manager, Adam Conrad, will send an email saying that the release candidate images are ready. Might be Monday, might be Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Let me just get to this state and then we'll chat. Right, I'm going to hit the spacebar to pause this. Wow, look at that. We'll come back to Kylin in just a sec, but I wanted to show you this. Adam Conrad, who sends the emails to the Ubuntu Announce mailing list. It's a very low traffic mailing list, so you can subscribe to it and be confident you're not going to get spammed with a load of stuff, right? But yeah, you can see one since all of September, and if we go back, yeah. So yeah, generally like a mail or two a month, and that's about it, right? So if you subscribe to this list, then sometime in the next few days there'll be another email sent to this list by Adam, and it will say something along the lines of final candidate, please test these images out, blah blah blah. And so so this that we've gone through here, we'll go through the whole thing all over again, but for the release candidate, but we'll be a bit more exact with our testing, because this is what's going to go out to people as potentially the final release. And sometimes the ISOs get respun even all the way up until release day, and sometimes even on release day the ISOs get respun. So you see all these Ubuntu 1910 is out like the day before, because they see an ISO somewhere, or the release candidate ISO is out. That really doesn't mean that's the final image. It can be respun anything up until very late at night on the day of release. And this is part of the reason why we never say what time the release is going to be out, because we just don't know. You know, I think there's only one release where we ever knew what the release time was, because we'd done all of this 2 days prior and then put it out on a Sunday. I think it was 10/10 was the only release that we put out on a weekend, because Mark said, let's put it out on the 10th of the 10th, which someone looked at a calendar and was like, hang on, that's a weekend. And we never do releases on a weekend, except for that one. Normally we do them on a Thursday. So that, you know, everyone can relax on the Friday, and any critical things, you'll find most things in Ubuntu release on a Thursday. So you've got Friday as a buffer, and then you can have the weekend. Anyway, Kylin. What did the thing say? The system boots properly, displaying the welcome dialog with the language selection, and try Kylin and install Kylin buttons. So I need to reboot this to get the 2 buttons like you got in Kubuntu. So let's just restart this and hit Think Vantage button, F12, and then choose my USB stick. So yeah, whenever you see people asking, you know, is it out yet? Is it out yet? The answer is it's not out until Adam Conrad sends a mail to the Ubuntu Announce mailing list. As soon as you see that mail, it's out at that point. And I appreciate sometimes the release candidate image hasn't changed much. Wow, look at that. That's nice. I like that. Any questions? Now, here's a problem. Is this all going to be in Chinese, Mandarin or something? That might be a problem. So it says, try Kylin. Oh, my language selector is up here. I'm going to have to make this bigger because I can't actually see that. It's a tiny dialogue on my screen. I'm going to choose English, which I think is at the top. There it is. Pop. Phew. So, try Ubuntu Kylin. Oh, bum. I've hit the wrong button. I hit try. I should have hit install. Start again. Oh, God. I'm too tired. Right. All I did was just hold the power button down just to kill it. So let's hit the blue Think Vantage button again. This is why you should do testing in like short bursts and not for 2 hours solidly on a YouTube live stream. You should do it like, you know, just take a half an hour, just take an hour. This is the reason why we do these like, part of the reason why I'm doing this is to show how easy it is. It's not hard to put an ISO on a USB stick, and not hard to follow a set of instructions and, you know, determine if it was successful or not and the install worked. It's not difficult. It's just a little bit time consuming. And if you think about all the, you know, multiple flavors of Ubuntu that there are, and the people who work on it, like Rick, who works on Kubuntu, and Simon, who works on Lubuntu, and everyone, and Martin on Ubuntu Mate, you know, it's a lot of time investment. So, you know, if you use one of these flavors or something based off one of these flavors, then you know, it's a reasonable ask for like an hour of your time or something to test them out before the release, because you really want to catch those hideous bugs before the release goes out, not after. Right, so this time I'm going to follow the instructions. Click on the install Ubuntu Kylin icon. I mean, it said icon, but I clicked a button. I know. Keyboard layout screen appears. So this is defaulting to Chinese, obviously, because it's designed for the Chinese market. So I'm going to switch it to UK and make sure that my usual test keys, quotes, dollar, euro hash. Yeah. Oh, pound signs. Good. Hit continue. Pop. Screen preparing. Note the availability of the following options. So we have to make sure. So again, interesting. Download updates. Install third-party graphics hardware. So Kylin doesn't have a minimal option by the look of it. So this is slightly different from all the other flavors in that the other flavors had two sections on their screen. One that had full install or minimal install. Kylin haven't implemented that for whatever reason. What's next? I'll tell you what is interesting is there's still Chinese on my screen, which, you know, given that I chose English, is a bug. I think it would probably be a low priority bug for the Kylin people. Raise disk and install Ubuntu Kylin. So we were going to do manual partitioning, weren't we? So I need to choose something else. Continue. So ext4. Hang on, let me just make sure you can see what I can. Oh yes, you can, because I'm looking at it. Let's do something different. So the instructions say select the drive you wish to partition, add, change, delete buttons to change your desired scheme. So it doesn't actually tell you how you should lay it out. You get to choose. So I'm just going to delete the partitions that are in there. Bop, and just go. Let's create one big partition, and let's choose a random. Well, let's choose the ext4. That makes sense, actually. Is that ButterFS? I can't read that from here. Interesting. Right, let's just do ext4. The root file system is on ext4. Right, let's see what that does. I have a feeling this is going to work. Oh, let's see what happens. Right, changes to disk. Yes. Then choose your time zone, as always. Sorry, I'm going a bit slow because it's streaming, so the mouse is laggy. Alan Poop. Deep. Good password. Right. Thank you for choosing the Ubuntu Kylin desktop operating system. Excellent. So we'll leave that chugging away. That shouldn't take too long. I hope that manual partitioning was set up right. Yeah, Danny, still waiting for the extreme minimal install or Ubuntu with no flavor. Well, I mean, that exists. There is the minimal ISO. Where are we? Is the minimal one listed on here? Or the netinst? Upgrading. Cloud images, official flavors. No, we don't list it there. Well, there is one. And that gives you no flavor. Oh, there they are. Boom. Is that the actual ISO? No, it's the directory. Okay. So there you go. There's your mini ISO, 73 megabytes. So if you install that, if you put that on a USB key. I mean, I could show you. We've got time. I could download that one. Copy link. Let's just grab it in there. Boom. So yeah, grab this. and we'll put this on a USB key. Hey, let's be retro and let's put it on this USB key. So let's plug that USB key in. There we go. There we go. SDA. Unmount that. Oh. Where did that? How can it affect? Okay. U-mount. Oh, it's not. It's U-mount. Idiot, man. Right. So let's sudo dd rescue -d force net. What's it called? Something mini. Mini ISO to dev SDA. This won't take long. 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Wow. So yeah, it's quite small. Woohoo! Right. So we'll do that one next, shall we? This one has our netinst on it. After we do Kylin, we'll do that. Right, back to Kylin. What's it doing? Installing. So once this finishes, in theory, it should boot. I wonder if it will all be set up correctly, because I think my laptop is set up in legacy mode, not EFI. Or it might be in both. In which case, I'm not an expert on EFI and stuff like that. I have a horrible feeling that me just giving it one partition without having a separate EFI partition might mean it won't boot. Because I haven't created the EFI FAT32 partition for it to put all the boot files on. That's possible. But I think the BIOS on this laptop is in dual mode, so it can do either. We'll see. It might work, it might not. Is the minimal install a bit like the minimal install of Debian? Yeah. It is a bit like that, yeah. The difference is well, not the difference, but the key thing about the minimal ISO is, first of all, as you could tell from the size, there's very little on it, and so there's just enough to get the thing installed. But the actual things you install, like the kernel and you know, all the GNU utilities and everything else, like Network Manager or whatever, you know, bits and bobs, they're not actually on that ISO. We call it the netinst because it gets everything from the network. So you can point it at a repository and it will download everything from that repository, which is super useful if you want a super custom install. Oh, it's finished. I can stop babbling away now. Right, hit reboot. And when it finishes, oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? We pull the USB key out. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. Well, there we go. It worked. I'm currently looking at that blob blue, you know, boot thing, and it's booted. So it worked. Woohoo! Can I switch displays? Is this Light DM? It is. Look at that. Light DM. Hello, everyone. So going back to the install instructions, it was saying, you know, after it's all finished, reboot properly. Wow, look at all of that. I'd say that passed. Because look at that. I wonder if I can. Ah, yeah. So they have a similar dialogue where you can do this. All I'm doing here is pressing the Windows key and pressing P to clone my screen. But it's the same as pressing function F7 on my laptop, which is where it's got like a picture of a laptop and an external screen. So that's success, I think. There's a little picture of a penguin there. What's he doing? Oh, it's for Citix, for keyboard input. Oh, that looks very much... that looks just like the Windows 10. Wow. You know, some people like that. I get it. I say I get. Some people don't. But... oh, this is the UK UI thing, isn't it? Well, it worked. So I'm going to make this a test pass. Yeah. X220, i7, 16 gigabytes, 250 gigabytes installed manually from there. Which image did I use? No. 2010. Sorry, 1010. From the 2019 1010 image. All good. I've achieved something today. So what was the other one I was going to do? I was going to do the NetInst, wasn't I? But this looks good. It's working. Is that weather? Weather forecast. Oh. Bluetooth. Not sure about these icons. Games. Ooh, what games does it ship? Ah, similar. You can see me fail at Minesweeper again. Kylin Software Center. Wow. I don't know what that says. I assume I need something installed that lets me run Android apps. I don't know. Wow, this is so cool. Brilliant. All right, well, that was a success, I think. I think we can happily say that's good. Shut down that. Shut down. Oh dear. Shut down anyway. Farron, wait until you do files and look at the title bars. Oh dear. Too late. Sorry. I didn't see your message before I shut down. Should we do a NetInst? For the lulz? I wonder if there's a test case for this. Let's have a look. Is there a test case for test tracker? EON Daily. Netboot. There we go. Yes, there are. So you can go through the test cases. I'm not going to go through them all. So Friday 9th. NetInst, CD, desktop, grub, Pixie. Okay, so there's a bunch of options you can choose. Let's just do an install for the fun, just to show. Who was it was asking? It was Danny was asking about this. So let's have a look and see what happens when we do a NetInst. And this is what this looks like, the old Debian installer. They call it DI, Debian installer, which is the curses, not curses, but curses based installer, the one that looks like a terminal. It's not seeing my USB stick. I mean, this is an old USB stick. Oh my gosh, it worked. Okay, so this is the NetInst. Command line install and install. Let's see what happens if we do install. Does it put a graphical install in that small amount of space? No. So yes, this is the NetInst. Looks very much like the old Debian installer. Yes, Danny, it is the best installer. I love it. Let's go through this. No, I don't want to detect the keyboard layout. I know what my keyboard layout is. English, UK. Oh my gosh, I can't read this. I need to make it bigger. So this is what network interface do I want to use? And the answer is the Wi-Fi, because it has to have a network connection, because otherwise it can't get all the packages. Oh man, excuse me. I have to hide my wireless network code. Right. So it's got on the network. And my, I guess my DHCP server knows this hostname. So it's got default hostname. I'm in the United Kingdom. This is where it's going to figure out which mirror to use. The UK mirror is not super fast. So, other tips to know about this installer. If you press, the installer is running in a TTY, and you can switch to the other TTYs to see what's going on. So there is this one, and if you press Alt F2, you get another console where you can have a poke about, you know, and see what's going on. And Alt F4 is where the log is of what's going on. So it's quite nice being able to see what's going on and, you know, what the installer is doing, because sometimes it sits there and you think, well, what's it doing? Is it actually doing anything? And the percentage bar is like halfway across and you can't tell what it's doing, and you just go Alt F4 and you can see what it's doing. So it's quite cool. So give myself a password. So if I do that, there you go. It's calling the NTP server, ntp.ubuntu.com, to get the time. My clock was out by 0.27 seconds. Oh no. You're in Europe, London. That's right, I am. And so here's where you get to choose like the super advanced options for what you want to do. And, you know, here's where you get the manual options, and you can choose to do stuff like setting up RAID or LVM or some other wacky partitioning scheme. Or you can just choose one of these, and let's just do use entire disk. Wipe out what's on there. Disk to partition. The big one. Not the 4 gig USB stick. Right changes, yep. What's it doing now? It's using partman to partition the disk, MK2FS to partition it and format it as a ext whatever, ext4 I think I chose, or it will choose. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I have a fondness for this installer. Don, now I feel at home. Yeah, this has been around for such a long time. So when Ubuntu first came out, there were 2 CDs that you get in a pack. It was like a CD pack that was cardboard, and it had 2 discs in it. And one was the install CD and one was the live CD. It wasn't the original install 15 years ago, 4.10. the install CD did this, but not netinst. It had packages. It had a local repository on the CD. And so you could do a full offline install. You didn't have to do the network like I'm doing. But it would have enough packages to get you a desktop install from that installer CD. And then there was a second CD in the pack, and that was a live environment. And then I think, was it 504 or 510, one of the later ones, you then only got one CD in the pack, and that CD was the installer. But for a long time, we made both ISOs, the live environment that had an installer on it, and the what we used to call the alternate CD, which had the Debian installer, this one, and that got retired. Can't remember when. Probably 2010, something like that, maybe somewhere around about there. It got retired. And it got kind of hidden, and nobody was using it, nobody was testing it, so we just stopped making them. So now it's going and getting and extracting stuff, and sure enough, if you Alt F4, you can see it's creating. So it partitions and then formats the disk. So this installer works very differently from the live environment. So this installer partitions the disk however you said it should, and then it mounts that under a directory called target, I think. Yes. So what you're looking at in /target is the internal SSD on this machine, and then it uses debootstrap or debootstrap or whatever you want to call it in order to install packages into that that file system. But what it's doing is installing deb after deb after deb after deb. So it's going and getting a deb and installing it, getting another deb and installing it. And all that's on the USB stick is the smarts to be able to go and get a deb and install it, and get on the network and ask you questions, and not a lot more. Wi-Fi drivers maybe. But it's installing a succession of Debian packages one after the other, and it's quite slow. To do a full desktop install, it's got to get all of the the Linux kernel and all of the command line utilities and X and all the drivers and all the desktop stuff, and it's going deb and installing all the debs one after the other. And the live environment boots a live environment and then basically copies that live environment and just goes splat on the disk. It doesn't install each of the packages one by one. It takes the live environment and just goes blop in the partition on the disk, copies all the files across, which is a lot faster. So there are some distros, I think, that still do package by package installs. I think OpenSUSE still does its install as installing an RPM, next RPM, next RPM. And I think there are various flavors of OpenSUSE, and there's other ones that have different installers, but I think the main installer there, which I found personally incredibly slow because it does this. Can you boot from USB 3 with no fiddling now? I didn't do any fiddling, and I was booting from USB 3. I don't understand the question. Try. Maybe I misunderstood. So this isn't going to be a long-lived install, so I'll say no automatic updates. And then it goes and installs a whole load of more stuff. Sets the locales. Language pack for my country. Yay! So this is the benefit of the netinst, is you can pick and choose what you want to install, pretty granular. So you could say, well, I want Ubuntu Budgie, and I also want GNOME, and you can pick that one as well. You just go down and hit space on whichever ones you want. Pretty cool. But yeah, you just pick what you want. But you can not pick anything if you want to, and just say continue. and you'll get a super minimal install. You won't get any desktop, you won't get X, you won't get Wayland, you won't get any of that stuff. Right. Excuse my laptop going. Any questions? SquashFS image. That's right, Rick. It's a SquashFS file. Hey, Rocco. Welcome to the madhouse. So it's nearly finished doing this net install. For those just joining, we're really just messing about right now. So far we've done, gosh, what have we done? We've done Lubuntu, Kubuntu, Ubuntu Kylin. I already done Ubuntu Mate yesterday. We've done installs that have shown dual boot. We've done an encrypted install. We've done a manual partition install. Yeah, loads of stuff. So install the grub boot on the master boot record of that disk there. Yes, the SSD. So it's a super fast install. I mean, it's pretty quick. Yes. Hardware clock is set. Yes. Restart. Boom. Done. So now I will have a super lean install of Ubuntu off the minimal ISO on my crusty old USB stick. Sorry, trusty old USB stick. Yep, disk light is flashing. There we go. What is it doing? First boot is taking a while. Oh, there we go. I don't know why. There we go. Almost nothing installed. You can barely see that, I expect. You can change the font, actually. Sudo dpackage reconfigure console setup, I think. Is it console setup? Yes. And I can change the font to Terminus Bold. Make it really big. Ah, there you go. So is that Matthias asking about no USB 3 driver? Yeah, I've never seen that. So that's interesting. So yeah, there we go. I've now got a super lean, clean install of Ubuntu on this thing via the netinst ISO. And in fact, that is exactly what I have on one of my other laptops. This is an X61S, and I did exactly this netinst install on this machine. And then I just installed the applications that I wanted, and it's got no graphical environment, no desktop, nothing. It's pretty cool. How much RAM does it use? Yeah, not a lot, I don't think. What's the best way to measure that? Free minus M used 106 meg. So yeah, it's pretty lean. Did it create a swap file? Yeah, 2 gig. Okay. And is that a swap file or a swap partition? It's a swap file. So yeah, it's a 2 gig swap file. Nice. Okay, I think we've done enough for today. Also, I'm getting WhatsApp messages from my son. He wants his dad back. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me on this journey testing ISOs. I'll do some more of this over the coming days if people find it useful.
I'm keen to get more people testing out these ISO images because there's a ton of them, and you know, the people who are working to get all this software ready for 1910 would super appreciate the help from people in the community. And I've gone through the process. You've seen it's not hard. You know, you get an ISO image, chuck it on a USB stick, boot it on an old laptop, and in some cases you can even do it in a VM. You could use VirtualBox, VMware, GNOME boxes, or any one of the others, like raw KVM if you want. It doesn't really matter. It's often useful to test on real hardware because then you can discover stuff like issues with wireless or particular disk controllers or other hardware quirks. But it's still useful to boot in a VM. Now, you may have seen some months ago, Will Cook published some stats about the proportion of machines that are VMs and the proportion that are real hardware. And it turns out a lot of people install Ubuntu in VMs. So, it makes sense for us to test it in VMs as well. So, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And thank you to members of the Ubuntu community and the wider Ubuntu family who've sat in the chat and spurred me on through this somewhat marathon, a couple of hours of testing ISOs. But I hope this is interesting to you and you get involved because it's good fun and it's not hard work and it's very helpful. So maybe I'll see you again, maybe later in the week as we lead towards 1910 on Thursday. I hope everyone has a good weekend and feel free to subscribe and hit the little bell if you want to get notified the next time I do one of these. It would be very great for you to join us. Thanks very much, everyone, and have a good rest of your weekend. Cheerio.